Thanks for staying with us in South Africa tonight. Now, according to the World Health Organization, suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 19-year-olds. That's why the South African Depression and Anxiety Group will be hosting an online Connect webinar for teachers and parents to help them identify the signs of teenage depression and suicide at home and in the classroom. It will also give them pointers on how to deal with this. So this comes as Teenage Suicide Prevention Week ends today. An operations director from SADC, Casey Chambers, joins us now live for more on this. Casey, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Now, according to statistics, 9.5% of teenagers or teenage deaths in South Africa are caused by suicide, and one of the triggers could be exam disappointment. Now, ahead of matriculants receiving their results early this week, is there a significant increase in the number of teenagers calling into your organization for help?
So interesting, yes, we do find during this time we get a lot more teenagers, matrics, even parents reaching out for help. However, we don't see a spike in the number of teen suicides around this time. However, even one suicide is one too many. So that's why we're trying to create awareness around this and encourage parents to talk about this and connect and check in with their teenagers before the results come out, so that we can avoid any teenager from feeling so overwhelmed that they think suicide is their only option.
Yeah. Now, Cassie, matriculants have had to endure exams under the cloud of a pandemic, and for some, disappointment is actually looming. So how do learners manage that disappointment?
I think they've also been feeling so anxious just with 2020 in general and having to adjust with all the changes, and now having to wait so long to get their results and knowing that the whole country's eyes are on them. There's so much pressure, and I think it's very normal to go through a roller coaster of different emotions when you get those results. And I think it's also to be kind to yourself, because like you've mentioned, you've written exams in a pandemic. It's normal to feel disappointed, sad, shocked, frustrated, and even incredibly depressed around this time. But it's also important to know that this is too will pass, and that there are options, and that this isn't the end of the road.
Yeah. And what advice can you give to parents who may have to deal with a teenager who feels the disappointment that you're speaking about, and also feels disappointed at how they performed during the 2020 examination?
I think parents should start the conversation now. Don't wait for the results to come out. So check in with your teenager now. What are they most stressed about? What subject do they think they did the worst in? And start to talk about different options. If this happens, we will do this. I think what parents need to do before the results come out is really just reassure their child that everything is going to be okay. And whatever happens, they're going to figure it out. And let them know that their well-being is much more important than a mark on a piece of paper. Discuss options now, so that when the teenager does get results that perhaps are disappointing, they know that there is a plan B, C, and D for what's going to be happening, and that parents are going to be there to support them no matter what.
And what are the telltale signs to look out for in a young person who may not be coping with a performance, or who may not be coping with their emotions at the time, and are really considering or even, considering a suicide?
I think it's very normal for getting disappointing results or realizing that you failed to feel really overwhelmed and upset and start to withdraw and isolate yourself from family and friends. And I think parents have to constantly check in and see how they're doing, and offering support and really encouraging them to speak to someone, even if it's not the parent themselves, as long as they're speaking to someone about how they're feeling. If a parent notices that some of these symptoms are lasting longer than a week or two, it is really important that you look at getting them some serious help and support to help them manage through the next wave. Some of the telltale signs that you can look out for if you're worried that your child could be at risk is someone talking or writing, posting about suicide, saying things like, "I wish I wasn't here anymore," or "everyone would be better off if I was dead." Isolating from family and friends, losing interest in things that they used to enjoy, so they don't want to go out and see anyone or do anything that they used to enjoy doing. You also start to find that they withdraw completely. They feel incredibly negative. There's a drastic change in their eating or sleeping habits. And with all these different warning signs, if you even see one warning sign, follow your gut, ask directly, "How are you feeling? I'm really worried about you. Let's talk about it." Don't wait until they tick off every checklist for you to take it seriously and to get them help.
And many a times, especially when it comes to young people, I mean, we were all teenagers once upon a time, and being a teenager is a very crucial, very emotionally strenuous time in one's life. And sometimes something small may be exacerbated and it looks like something big. So in light of that, is there any form of support that's even offered to parents, particularly during this time, where they feel as though their teenager literally thinks this is the end of the world for me?
And I think being a teenager again, where the whole country is looking at matrics for the results and everything is coming down to what you're going to do for the rest of your life, make these big decisions, they're expected that this is their whole world at the moment. So I think it's also to remember and to take the pressure off of them a little bit. If you are worried about your child and they're not coping and they really are spiraling, get them help before it's late. If a parent doesn't even know what to do or where to go or how to start, and again, there's no rule book or guideline that teaches you how to manage something like this, is reach out to SADAG. We're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and you as a parent or a loved one or even a friend can reach out and we can help you. So you can call us on our toll-free number 0800 567 567 or visit our website at www.sadag.org. It can be quite scary and overwhelming, but please know that you're not alone. There is always help and there is always hope.
Cassie, we'll leave it there for this evening. Thanks a lot for joining us, Operations Director from SADC. That is Cassie Chambers giving us the latest there in terms of teenage suicide ahead of, looking at Teenage Suicide Prevention Week.